Georgetown is coming off of maybe their most impressive win of the year, 78-63 over Butler. I should say dominating win of the year. Probably their most impressive win of the year is still the Creighton win at Creighton, especially when you saw what Creighton did in the rematch, and then Creighton followed that up with a absolutely impressive win over Villanova. So I will say for Georgetown, this is their probably most convincing win in that game. It was a special game for Georgetown. Not only did they get the win, but both Javon Blair and Jamarco Pickett scored their 1,000th point. So right now, Georgetown sits at 6-10 overall, 4-7 in the Big East, and that puts them one before last. DePaul's in last place, but I don't think that's how you can measure Georgetown. It is very important for this team to get some momentum going into next season. I know no one wants to talk about next season, but if you're truly a Georgetown fan, next season has to be on your mind to see how these young guys develop, and on top of the class that you're bringing in, and then on top of whether one of the seniors will take advantage of this being a free year. Right now on paper, when you look at those guys, you don't think they will. It's hard to think that Chude Ballet will come back, or that Jamarco Pickett will come back, or Javon Blair, or Carey, but they have the option of coming back, and that can kind of skew how you'll look into next season. But for right now, Georgetown really needs to continue to pick it up. They've been good since the COVID break. Outside of the Creighton game, they have played really, really well, and they've looked like a completely different team. So again, Georgetown, great win over Butler. They're going to have a few days off. Doesn't look like they have a game to plug in unless the Big East plugs in a game for them. But they'll have a few days off, and that'll help this team. They can go back, take a look. They had 23 turnovers in the win over Butler. So some of those old things that has bedeviled them since Patrick Ewing has gotten there is still bedeviling them. And that's something that needs to be worked on, because those turnovers come in all different fashions. They're forced turnovers, they're unforced turnovers, they're charges, they're just throwing the ball out of bounds. If there is a turnover that has existed in the history of turnovers, Georgetown has committed it this season. So having the break probably does help them out in that sense, and they could make a strong run to the end of the season. Hopefully that gets them up one or two steps in the Big East tournament, in the Big East standings. But for Patrick Ewing, I understand that it's very, very difficult. You want to get as many wins as possible, because that's going to help you throughout recruiting. It's going to help you, in a sense, keep your job. Not that I ever think that his job is in jeopardy, but it's good for the program. On the flip side, there is development. And if your freshmen are not coming along as fast as you would like for them to come along, and you're not playing those type of games where you're blowing teams out, it's hard to get them quality court time. And Ewing has dealt with that all year, and it is a hard place for a coach to be in. So there's not a right answer or wrong answer. It's more of a preference thing. But Ewing is managing it the best way he feels like for the program, and that's all Georgetown fans can ask for.